you're a buyer, I think this is incredibly important right now because understanding the seller's mindset will help you be a better buyer. And what I have seen is when somebody doesn't understand the mindset or what's going through the mind and doesn't have empathy for the seller, you're likely to make some mistakes with them, because this is not, keep in mind, these they're not selling a car that they may have a little bit of an emotional attachment to it. Like, they are selling their livelihood. And so you really need to understand the mindset of a seller. And so we are going to have Misty and Steve on, who we just bought from, that are going to talk a little bit about that. But go ahead, Josh. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I want to go back to what we refer to internally as our investment memo, and it houses the qualitative data that we've discussed. It houses all of the quantitative financial data that we've discussed a little bit on. But one of the line items in there I wanted to address as a part of this question is we calculate what is effectively the management replacement value. And so what that means is, for a seller, is, are you a business owner or are you an employee, right? And you can be, shades of both. But as a seller, you are going to make yourself more valuable by having a team around you, if that's possible. Now, if you're at, 100 or under 100 units and you've got one or two people that are helping you out, that's not as much of an option. But if you're somewhere between, we see the average property management business that we evaluate somewhere between 200 and 400 units. And usually with that many units, there's a small team of people. And the more that you can become detached from the day-to-day, the more valuable that you are. I mean, there's kind of a rule in M&A. If you're a buyer, you don't want to buy a job, right? And if you are and if you're a seller, you can go ahead and start working now to get yourself as removed as is feasible from the day-to-day, so that when it comes time for you to sell, we're not having to, or that buyer isn't have to replace you as an employee as well. Now, sometimes that's just not feasible, right? Sometimes, depending on what your structure is and how you're set up, you may have to be involved very much in the day-to-day. But that is something I think that is not considered very much. Is people think, okay, well, I'm working more on the business, or I'm working more in the business than on it. But a lot of the sellers that we purchase from have taken the steps to remove themselves from the day-to-day to the extent that they can, and spend as much time as possible working on the business. And so when we go to evaluate that business, we're not having to effectively input another employee to take up what the owner has been doing. If they have a team around them that has been accomplishing that task, we know that's the less we're going to need the owner post close to be around, still taking care of their owners, if that makes sense. So begin to consider your business as an investment vehicle, where you are looking to sell it, maximize your return. And to be able to do that, the more that you can be out of it, the more that you can be a true owner versus an employee in the business, the more valuable it can be.